My younger self would probably laugh out loud if it knew that its future self, would carry books around and read them. I was extremely allergic to books while growing up, and I just couldn't even imagine that I would actually buy books and read them. It's crazy. So today I'm carrying this book. It was written by Deirdre Carabin. It's an Irish lady. And I'm going to read a paragraph and comment a little bit. The religion of Hermes Trismegistus originated in Hellenized Egypt, where the Greek god Hermes was identified with the Egyptian god Thoth. Hermes Trismegistus, thrice great Hermes, three times great Hermes, is a salutation modeled on the traditional Egyptian address to Thoth. He is regarded as the founder of the Hermetic doctrines. Its sources are pagan and Greek, and some treatises contain distinctive Gnostic elements. Okay, so how come Egypt was Hellenized, and how come the Romans adopted Hermes Trismegistus? What's going on? You know, from what I from what I've heard, that area of the world was occupied by different peoples. You know, the originals we actually have no trace of. We don't know who they were. There's lots of speculations, though. But a thing is certain. Once upon a time, a group of peoples, of shepherds, that migrated from what is called today India, migrated through Asia and landed on that area. And they built a nation in the shores of the Nile. Definitely, as well, peoples from the Horn of Africa occupied that area. They, from the source of the Nile, just went and followed the river until it reached the Mediterranean. I can't remember the name right now of the nation, but they formed upper, middle, and down. It was three realms of the Nile. Eventually, at some point, there was a guy who unified everything, but that didn't turn out to be a good thing, I suppose, because they collapsed. Eventually, the Great Persian Empire took over. The Persians created an empire from the borders of India until the borders of the Iberian Peninsula. And Egypt was included in North Africa, I think. You know. And then the Greeks succeeded, you know. It was the Greeks, the successors of the Persian Empire. They didn't stretch until, India, but you can find tons and tons of ruins left out by the Greeks. You know, the traditional architecture that you can find. You, you can find ruins. Unfortunately, during modern warfare, they've destroyed tons and tons of these vestiges of the past. You can also find, or used to find, statues of Buddha all over the place. You see, this is where the what called Persian culture, from India, from east to the west, it at some points in history was one culture, fractured from time to time, and so Thoth and the other gods, are the same gods repeated from other pantheons from the east to the west. Um, the Greeks, after the Greeks, we have the Romans um, that took over after the Greeks, and the Roman Empire became shorter than the Greek Empire and then the Persian Empire. The Roman Empire only encapsulated the lands around the Mediterranean, north, east, and south of the Mediterranean Sea. Um, Peoples nowadays, the people that lives in these areas, North Africa, Algeria, um, Egypt, etc. Um, they are descendants of the Greeks, of the Romans. You know, they are their descendants. The original people before the Greek invasion, they were pushed to the Horn of Africa. They were pushed back, you know. So there's a lot of confusion. Who are the true Egyptians nowadays? Well, they do exist, but in my opinion, they are in the Horn of Africa. They were pushed back, to the Horn of Africa. And the ones occupying those areas are Greeks, actually. Greeks and from the ancient Roman Empire, pagan Roman Empire, right? Because the modern Roman Empire that became Christian, they have more influences from the barbarians, the so-called barbarians that came from, Germany, Russia, those areas. The Catholic or Christian Roman Empire was slightly different than the pagan one. So, at least in phenotypes, in its overall population. Now it's another group of people that is taking over, these things come and go. So called Western civilization and the Great Replacement theory, which is not a theory, it's happening before our eyes. You know, people come and go. Um, so